What you're looking at is a deck chair from Canada's largest collection of Titanic artifacts. We are talking to the collector himself this morning, Rene Bergeron. Thanks again for having us.
My pleasure.
You are a wealth of knowledge. I think we have spent more time just chatting about the artifacts than we actually have sharing it with everyone. Tell me the story behind this chair.
Well, this deck chair, when I purchased it, was from Nova Scotia. And to tell you that it's from Titanic, I can't. I'd say it's probably got a pretty darn good chance. Only two White Star ships wrecked outside of Nova Scotia. One was the Atlantic in 1873 and the Titanic in 1912. You can see that there's water damage on it, but we just don't have the oral history to say. But it was known that the ships that went up to pick up Titanic's victims would also pick up pieces of wood and also, intact deck chairs.
And how do you know that?
Because it's all in the ship's logs. Like they'd put, we picked up 20 bodies today, and deck chairs and wood.
Why were they picking out pieces of the wreckage from the water?
For a souvenir. Now, it's not like a gruesome way of saying like, oh, look, I got a piece of Titanic. It was more just something to remind them of the morbid job that they did. Like it was that type of souvenir. It wasn't like a glorious souvenir there. It was just to say that I was there,
Yeah. So spinning around, you were saying that this piece here is one of the most expensive pieces in your collection.
No, not one of the most expensive, but it is definitely a dear piece. That's from the Grand Staircase from the Olympic. And Titanic had the same thing. When I do school talks or when the kids come to the exhibits, it's to explain to them that these are all handmade, right? If hundreds of these were on the ship, every single one is different in its own way. Compared to today, where you'd put it in AutoCAD and the laser or the saw would cut 100 exact pieces. These are made by hand, and every single one is different in some way, even when it was made by the same carpenter. So.
And what of the books here?
These books here is a Shipbuilder magazine. That's a softcover, hardcover. It's in these books here that the Unsinkable came out. There's a section there where they talk about the watertight doors and the watertight compartments, and then going to saying that these things here and all the new safety features makes these ships practically unsinkable. And then the media got a hold of it, the newspapers, and then omitted practically and just put unsinkable, and that's how the whole unsinkable Titanic and Olympic came about, was because of these books here.
And I find it almost ironic that 3 ships were built, 2 of which sunk.
Yeah, the first one, the Olympic, was the only one to survive. Titanic sinks on its maiden voyage, and Britannic is the third. It was used as a hospital ship during the war, and it sinks on its sixth voyage going to pick up wounded soldiers. It hits a mine and goes to the bottom of the Aegean Sea.
Before we go, Rene, believe it or not, look at them. They're little styrofoam cups. Why are they so small?
Well, they actually started off like a full-size cup.
Yeah.
And when you go down to Titanic's in 2.5 miles of water. At that depth, there's 6,000 pounds per square inch of pressure. So on every square inch that big, there's the weight of 2 vehicles pushing down on that submarine sphere.
Yeah.
And they give you these. You decorate them with whatever you want. They attach them on the outside of the submersible. When it goes down, the pressure shrinks, pushes all the air out.
Yeah.
And then that's what you get when you come back as a souvenir.
Is that ever cool? And they put all of the writing on the outsides too, so it shrunk with the cup, right?
Yeah.
Is that ever neat? Now, if somebody wanted to experience your collection for themselves, how would they have the opportunity to do that?
Would have been my showing a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now the collection, I've just leased it for the next 10 to 11 years, so they will be able to see it. We can't say where just yet, because not all the I's and T's are dotted and crossed. So.
Right. Thank you so much for having us today.
My pleasure.
How interesting. This is Canada's largest collection of Titanic artifacts. Stick around. We've got more coming up.